get this party started. Happy Friday. Hopefully you observe the weekend as days for rest and from work, to rejuvenate, to recover from the week. It's been a long fucking week, but it ain't over yet. Welcome to the Hummel Show. If I didn't say that already, I don't think that I did. We got a lot of stuff going on in the coming weeks. Very, very exciting. And it starts tonight, actually. Some after hours. Oh, Brian from Philly. 50 doll hairs on the YouTubes. I believe I'm 4 nucks deep. That's what Bubba said. I can see that I am on the tubes and I think on the Rumbles. I'm not going to check all the platforms. So if you do send stuff, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal at the Bubba Army, I probably won't see it unless it's on YouTube, but that is okay because if you send money other ways, we'll scream it out tonight as after hours trading because tonight we have Bubba 199. Now, I like to say it's Halloween edition, but maybe it's not because I think that I am trying to get people in the holiday spirit, and I know how bitches be. I happen to be one, and ladies like to dress up. Usually, especially if they get an excuse to dress, let's say, provocatively, but you can mask it by saying, well, I'm just dressing up for Halloween. Yeah, I got pasties on, but I'm a sexy nurse. That's just how I roll. I'm a sexy Girl Scout scouter. I'm a sexy caterpillar. It doesn't really fucking matter. The ladies like to dress up. And it's just kind of like a fun atmosphere. You know, I like it when we get into seasonal stuff, whatever it may be, whether it's St. Patty's Day or Halloween or fall with the Thanksgiving, or whether it be Christmas, my new favorite holiday, because I love Christmas. It's the best holiday that ever was. Thanksgiving is pretty strong, but I think I like Christmas the best because even though Christmas is just a single day, it's a whole season. You know, you don't really get like Thanksgiving parties, although in the Northeast, well, I should say the Midwest, actually, they do Thanksgiving Eve. Maybe it's a big thing down here. It certainly was not a thing in California that I can recall, and I would have known because I really liked to party when I was in California. Biggie! 7375, 10 doll hairs. Thank you very much. I appreciate every dollar, every cent I get on this show to contribute to the operation and the cause, and I will get to that phone call, and I see right there. I'm a little concerned because we had some problems during the main show. Those that were listening know what I'm talking about. So I think I'll be able to sniff it out pretty quickly, and if I need to snipe the call myself, I will. But feel free to send in more money to snipe it anyways. 813-90-BUBBA. So trying to get people into the holiday spirit of Halloween because bitches love it. Most of them do, I think. And Bubba shot it down, you know, because I'm being pushy. So I'm going to try to lay off, but I was just trying to encourage others to be like, hey, if you want to get in the holiday spirit, and here's the thing, especially with people who are into Halloween, especially the ladies, is usually when you buy a costume, A, it takes a lot of planning sometimes if you're, thoughtful about it, and B, it's sometimes they're not cheap. And any excuse to wear it more than once, you will take. Because it sucks when you just get to wear it like once. And you're like, man, this is super cool. I'm out and about. I'm looking cool. I'm looking sexy. I'm in a Halloween. It's rare that adults accept and where it's socially acceptable for adult to dress up like something else. That is a rare occasion that comes by once a year, and I've missed it for the last 7 or 10. I don't dress up for Halloween ever, even though every year I'm like, that seems like so much fun to get dressed up in a costume. But when push comes to shove, I'm like, nah, fuck this. I'm lazy. JHM3. I don't know why I yelled that away from the mic. JHM3 1999 on the super chat. You guys are just fucking. I am 6 minutes in and making that shmoney, and I appreciate you. But nevertheless, come costume, no costume. I'll be in costume because I haven't dressed up for Halloween in about a decade. And it's Bubba 199 tonight. It's going to be a good time. We're going to make some money. We're going to have some fun. We're going to be, I think it's what was it? Double Penetration Friday. I forget. Fuck It Friday. We'll be on Rumble and Twitch, bringing it back on Twitch. You know, I weirdly miss Twitch a little bit. I liked the interface. I like how it was kind of set up. Sometimes Rumble gives us issues, but sometimes Twitch did as well. But again, Twitch is just, I don't know. When I first started on the show, that's where we were. So I have a special fondness for Twitch, even though, it's not reciprocated, it seems. It seems like they've gone in their own direction, and they may implode. They may not. We wish them well, but we'll be on Twitch tonight. So we'll be monitoring that, as well as monitoring the Rumbles, which is our new, I would say probably our new home. That's the one I monitor the most, and the one that seems the most accepting of other opinions, ideas, and ideologies and whatnot. All right, let's try this together. Hello, who's this?
Hey, what's up, Anna? It's Tony. And I totally agree with you on Halloween. It's the one holiday where you can be whoever the F you want to be. Would you agree?
I would agree, Tony. I would agree. Where you can just be a grown-ass adult. Yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely. And Anna, and you swear up and down that you don't have this, but I know it's in you.
What?
Bloody stuff. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Bloody stuff?
Bloody stuff. Slutty stuff.
Oh, slutty stuff. What's up, Kyle? Florida Stanley, $20. The sniz on deck. What does that mean? I don't know. The snipe. Okay, sorry. Do I have slutty stuff? Yeah, I actually have I don't want to say a closet full. I certainly don't have a closet full of slutty stuff, but I used to dress a bit.
Slutty Steph. Your name. Slutty Steph.
Okay. Steph, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't think so.
You don't know who Slutty Steph is?
No, I don't. You keep saying it, and it's not ringing a bell. Is that my alter ego?
Blitz.
Okay.
Ass Blitz.
Okay. Thank you. Goodbye. 813-90 Bubba. If you'd like to call in and contribute to the conversation, we'd love to have you. So, come costume, no costume. We'll be here. But 199 tonight, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know if it's Eastern. I think it's Eastern Standard Time, right? Or no, we're on Daylight Savings Time. So I don't know. Whatever. It's 8 o'clock Eastern Time. That's what I will say from 8 to 10. A little bit of a party. I look forward to seeing all the people here tonight. It's always a good time. It's always a good time. I haven't been drinking very much. Usually because I drive here, and then in order for me to get home safely, I try not to drink and drive. It's really funny. The night of the Orlando shooting, the Orlando DUI incident, I too was out and about, and I contemplated having a drink, and I almost did. But then someone messaged me that, a clip to whatever link, and I saw it, and I'm like, yo, definitely the move not to have a drink tonight, because you never know. Most cops are cool, I imagine. I mean, I guess it depends who you talk to about the cops, but I feel like maybe if you're right on that line, or maybe you're .081 or something, and you get the wrong guy or gal or baby or what the fuck ever. Whoa, we got a lot of calls. I'm a little concerned. You get the wrong person, they can fuck up your life. I had a friend in college who, I'll take her word for it as far as how drunk she was. But according to her, she had a glass of wine in her, ran into the wrong cop, and, lost her license, I think, for a year, which really put her out, especially being in and from LA. That's really hard to maneuver around because LA, the public transit isn't very safe and isn't really effective, because the way that LA is organized, it's not like a San Francisco or New York City. It's kind of spread out a little bit more of an urban sprawl kind of feel. So unfortunately, she was just kind of shit out of luck for a long, long time. And I certainly don't want that to happen to me. And I don't want to bother Kevin, who is supposed to be here today. Kind of. he loosely said on Friday last week that he's like, oh, we'll do it next Friday, which is today. And then when someone does that, and feel free to weigh in on this, 81390 Bubba, when someone says like, oh, I can't do today, but like next time, or even like next Friday, I was like, do I even message him about it? Like, am I being annoying? Does he want to come in? Is it a pain in his ass? If I bother him about this, because I love working with Kevin, because Kevin is Kevin and he's cool as hell. But also I feel like we have a really good exchange of ideas. We have two very kind of different perspectives, but we kind of intersected a lot of points. And apparently when Kevin first met me, he really thought that we weren't going to see eye to eye at all, because he was being judgmental and judging a book by its California cover. But he was wrong. But I think we do great work together, great radio together, great podcasting or whatever the fuck this is together. So I'm going to try to kind of nudge him to come in. But he couldn't come in today, and I didn't want to bother him, but I just kind of laid it out there like, hey, if you're available, would love to do a show with you. If not, like, we'll figure it out. So and I think this is maybe for anybody who has an iPhone, Kevin is one of the few people, and I don't want to just claim it because it's boomer status. Maybe it's intentional, but if you have an iPhone, there is a status of the message, the text message that you sent, right? It'll say delivered, and sometimes it'll just stay delivered, But there is a setting on the phone that allows people to see if you've read their message or not, right? And so when someone sees your message and it reads it and it has that setting, that's where the term, I think, left on read comes from, where it's like you can see that they've seen your message. We both know that you have seen this message. And then, you don't respond. So I saw that happened on Wednesday. I was like, maybe not the move, but I did get a response the following day that he couldn't come in. So that's cool. But I always tell, especially if you have like a boomer parent or something, like make sure that they know that it's left on red. Because then if they come back and they try to tell somebody, I didn't get your message, you can screenshot that shit and go, yeah, you did. You read it at 6:24 p.m. You read it. So make sure. I was very lucky because when I first got my iPhone, I didn't know that was a thing because I was an Android Willie. But about, 6-7 years ago, I got an iPhone. And Buck McKinnon, who I used to work with at the Bone, he works for Beasley now, I think, for the Orlando and the Freak Show. Was an engineer maybe. I think he's on air sometimes. Cool guy. I run into him at Publix every now and again. But I remember him. Oh, Brian from Philly. Another $10. Halloween is a blast. It's called fun. Exactly, Brian. Brian gets it. But Buck McKinnon, I remember I sent him a message or something, and almost immediately when I saw him in person, he goes, hey, I just want to let you know, you're not leaving me on red, but we can see that you've read a message. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, oh, well, if when you get an iPhone, you can leave someone on red. They can see if you viewed the message. That's probably not good ever. So I said, oh, good thinking. And, looked up how do I change the setting, figured it out. But plausible deniability will always come in handy at some point in your life. Just be like, I didn't get the message, or I was busy. You could claim the busy because sometimes you are busy. Yesterday I didn't look at my phone for like 6 hours because I was doing jiu-jitsu with Rob Kahn, which I feel guilty about. And I was doing, took a jiu-jitsu class, and I came home, then I ate, and then, 6 hours goes by, and then I'm like, oh, shit. I should probably check my phone to see if I'm, hosting the show tomorrow, for example. I don't know. So, in that case, you can say, hey, I was busy doing stuff. But if someone sees that you read that message, it's not going to work in your favor, friends. Hello?
Hey, Tampa Terry, Muscle Beach, Show. Can you hear me?
Yes. It's a unique day when I'm relieved to hear your voice, Tampa Terry. What's going on?
Well, Halloween, this time of year, Halloween brings up a lot of mixed feelings for me. On one hand, I want people to have fun and enjoy the company of their fellow Americans and Canadians. On the other hand, first of all, it pushes a lot of satanic, rituals and things of that nature. And in addition to that, everyone wants to talk about, Halloween candy, all these sugary snacks and treats and goodies. Well, let me ask you this. Does a high blood sugar and diabetes sound like a treat? Does that sound like a good time to
like
you?
Trick.
Because it doesn't sound like a good time to me, brother. And you know what? I wish I was never introduced to that first piece of sugary candy when I was a little tiny Terry, brother, because, that sugar, that taste for sugar stayed with me my whole life, dude. Now I got an addiction to sour gummy candies and diet sodas. So,
do you have a problem with your weight?
So,
or you're pretty, you got it under control? I imagine a man like you is highly disciplined and no?
Yeah, in real life, I'm actually jacked and ripped, so that's fine.
Right.
It's just, if anything, I got to keep the size on me at this point. But, I just want to put out there, watch out for that sugar intake. I'm not going to be handing out sugar. I'm going to be handing out apples, which even those have
that's
sugar.
fucking
That's
lame.
fine. I'm worried about that.
Just turn off the lights and go to bed. Don't answer the door. Don't be giving kids apples on Halloween. That fucking sucks.
Well, they're getting an apple and a lecture about the dangers of sugar as well. They're getting two treats when they come to my front door. But,
hey guys, don't go to this guy's house. He sucks.
Hope everyone has a good weekend and avoids the satanic pagan rituals, avoids the sugary fake sweetener syrup snacks and treats.
Yeah.
Because, you can ask any number of people who have diabetes if it's a treat.
All right, Terry, we got it. Thank you. Goodbye, Terry. Have a great day. You're bumming me out, kid. Listen, no one is more annoying about it, health consciousness and the intermittent fasting and insulin sensitivity and metabolic flexibility. No one loves that shit more than me, okay? But every once in a while, you gotta just let yourself have some fucking fun. Because, even discipline and I don't want to say self-control. That's not the word I'm looking for. Discipline and willpower, those should be set down every now and again. When you're on vacation, try to the best of your ability to just turn off your diet brain, your gotta be on it brain, your gotta be jacked brain, and just kind of give your body and mostly your mind a rest, because it is fucking exhausting counting all the hours of which you have not eaten, or logging all the foods you have eaten, or putting in your calorie count, or wondering how you're going to prep your next meal. Sometimes you just gotta go fuck it and just eat that candy. Eat that pizza, eat that ice cream. Just do what you want to do. That's how that should go. Mike Thurman, amazing. Thank you. $49.99. Very much appreciate you guys. This is a nice appetizer. You're just wetting the palate for tonight. I feel like we haven't had a Bubba $1.99 in quite some time, because I think last month, I recall, it was earlier in the month. So sometimes it's 3 weeks apart. Sometimes it's 5 or 6 weeks apart, depending on just, everyone's schedule. So, tonight it's going to be a good one. And then I believe in 3 weeks on the 17th of November is going to be the next one. We're going to be celebrating some birthdays then too. So it's always a good time. Nice to see my friends. I like that it's almost like this. It's this monthly thing where I see people I like around here, and I like that. And it's good time. And I feel like the energy, the vibe is palpable. The music is bumping most of the time when he's playing my music. So there's going to be a nice blend tonight of what I got planned, and also Bubba's rock and roll and the Motley Crue. I feel like that's kind of more of Bubba's thing, which I find that music of the 80s, the rock of the 80s, to be truly repulsive. There's really nothing quite like 80s hair band music. Maybe there's a song or two that made it out where it's listenable, but usually to me it's just ugh. And when you tell people you don't like 80s music, it's I don't know. It's like shitting on ice cream, or people get really upset and not offended by, but kind of, they're just what's wrong with you? Why don't you like 80s music? Because it's horrible. It's so bad. It's annoying. I'm sure people say you're annoying. That's fine. Fair point. It's not really super catchy. Everyone seems to be screaming. The style of the 80s was very bizarre. It was an odd time in history that people often look at fondly, but I don't. I just got born, and I was like, get me into the 90s immediately, please. Now, that's not to say that there weren't a lot of great artists in the 80s, because there were, right? I'm mostly talking about like 80s metal hair bands. Like that is just, ugh. But, Michael Jackson. I was thinking about Michael Jackson yesterday, but yeah, Michael Jackson had some fucking awesome hits. Thriller, 1984, fantastic. Billy Joel, love Billy Joel. Prince was great. So there was a few hits. Madonna, I don't know how I feel about Madonna. It's hard to try to separate who she was from who she is now, because it's like, you like to think people move in like a positive direction where even if they get older and they lose their looks, which we all inevitably will, but you like to think that they've evolved as a person in some way that makes them more valuable to society with age. That's how I look at it. Because, like, listen, I'm not super stoked about getting older. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like that I acquire more information and people take me seriously a little bit more than they did 10 years ago. But does that really mean anything in the grand scheme of things when your looks are fading and you're getting gray hairs and the wrinkles are coming in? And thankfully, I don't have tits, so they're not really saggy. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, you're just like, man, your body starts breaking down a little bit. You're like, it's not what it used to be. Certain things used to be appropriate, age appropriate, and they're just not age appropriate anymore. But then I get in my head, I'm like, why are you letting society... And it's not even society. It's me being on me. I have surveyed society, the fabric of society. We live in it constantly. It's a matrix we can't really escape. And you just kind of have, this isn't age appropriate. And so you kind of put it aside. And then you get to your 40s, this isn't age appropriate. And I hate that I am thinking that way, that I'm a prison to these thoughts. But I'd be lying if I said otherwise, So I'm trying to get into the age is just a number and just do whatever the fuck you want thing. And I am trying. But a lot of it in the back of my head is like, you're too fucking old for that. You want to go there? Why would you want to do that? But then I'm like, do I even want to do it at all? Because maybe it's just my interests have changed as I've gotten older and I just don't want to do the things I used to want to do anymore. But then it just sucks. I feel like I don't have the option anymore. And then you start thinking, Am I the old person in this club now? Am I the only person yawning at 9:45 p.m., like pointing at, where my watch would be if I wore one? It's time to go. But yeah. I think something interesting happened when I started working here, where it was like an intersection of me getting older, you got COVID, then you put on a relationship, and then also now I cannot stay up past like 10:30 p.m. Like, I am wiped the fuck out. Even if I woke up at noon, I still start to get sleepy at like 9:30, 10. I can't help it because I wake up so fucking early. My circadian rhythm is like, we go to bed at 10:30 now, whereas we used to go to bed at 4 a.m. So that has kind of all shifted. And I remember when I first started working here, well, I wouldn't say I was clubbing every weekend, but I was going out a bit. And I was also single then too, so I was different. Whereas now it's like, I don't want to, it's not fun anymore to do that. But yeah, even 2 years ago, I was making it a point to like go out, go dancing, do all that shit. And now I'm just like, it's tiring, and who wants to wait in line? And I'm exhausted at 9:30, so why the fuck would I want to go all the way downtown in a busy place playing shitty music? Not trying to be that old curmudgeon, but now I like doing daytime things much more. I slip a brunch in here and there, which is nice, which is great. But yeah, I feel like I've retired from nightlife. It's pretty much over, unless I have some help from some non-pharmaceutical drugs to get me through the night. You know what I mean? Hello, who's this?
Hummel, Joe the supermarket.
Oh, Joe, so relieved it's you and not a troll. What's going on, man? I mean, I know what's going on. Your life kind of sucks. But you somehow always try to put a positive spin on it. Oh, you're like, I'm bedbound. I can't get out. I'm getting evicted. But it's okay. God bless. Jesus loves everybody.
Yeah, it's all part of God's plan. Everything's going to happen the way that He wants it to happen.
Why would God want you to get evicted? What do you think, like, the plan is? Or the
Because Because inevitably I need to be somewhere else. This place isn't conducive to having me here. It's not good for me physically.
Joe, I have to honor the snipe. Goodbye. Oh, I feel really bad. But James Spitzer, 99.99. Not quite 100, but I'll round up. I am really sorry, Joe. I don't want to encourage you to call back, but I did snipe the call. I did honor the snipe. So James, thank you so much for the shmoneys. And I did honor the snipe. So sorry, Joe, you had to go. Hello, who's this?
Bubba Army, I love you guys. Don't snipe me.
Bye, bitch. 813-90 Bubba. I know we've been talking about a lot of depressing things in the news. It seems like the news is full of depressing things all the time. And, we got wars lurking in Europe and Asia and the Middle East. And it just feels like one thing is just piling on top of the other. But I would like to talk about something that is probably near and dear to a lot of your hearts. And that is Adderall. People like Adderall. Britney Spears likes Adderall. People around here like Adderall. Hey, every once in a while, I like me some Adderall. It is a fun drug. It's a fun drug. And I'm very grateful that I didn't run into it or didn't dare to use it when I was in college, because I think I had some weird sort of, I think you call it integrity. I don't know what it was. It was stupid what I had. But I thought it was kind of cheating. I thought you were gaming the system. I don't even think I was drinking coffee back then. So I was really all natural, just virgin all natural, no caffeine. I can't even believe that. Although I was having a lot more sugar in my diet. I'll say that because I was eating no joke, I would probably go through a bottle of ketchup in 2 to 3 days. It was disgusting, all right? Didn't know shit, but thankfully, I was young at the time and was able to kind of stay trim and lean, but had no fucking clue about nutrition. Just thought I could exercise everything away, but I was 21 and dumb as fuck. So, it happens. But anyways, Adderall, I knew people who took Adderall. I thought they were crazy. I'm like, why the fuck would you take something that you aren't prescribed? That is an abomination. That's dangerous. You could die from doing that. I thought that was not the move, not the call. And I also thought it was cheating for some reason. I think I also thought caffeine was cheating. Very bizarre, very strange way to think about things. So I refused to take Adderall or any of that shit, mostly because I thought it was going to warp my brain. But I also thought it was cheating. But I'm kind of grateful that I didn't fall into Adderall because I feel like it is very effective and very useful and helped a lot of my roommates and a lot of my friends finish papers that were due in 6 hours and they hadn't started yet. So they were able to just kind of book it, write that essay, get through finals. I'm definitely taking it before finals is fucking cheating. I was that is full-blown cheating. Because reading comprehension to me always has been very, very difficult. I can read. Let me just say that I can read. I can't read and comprehend very well under pressure. So if you tell me read this article at your leisure, tell me what it's about afterwards, no problem. I could do that. And I could also reread it, obviously, if time is limitless. But if I'm given a test where it's you have to read these 10 stories in 40 minutes and answer all these questions, then I start to freak out. And once the anxiety goes up and the cortisol starts to rise, I am unable to focus. Completely I'm reading things as if they are just random words strung together and nothing is getting absorbed in terms of the content and the context, mostly the content of whatever I'm reading. So that's really where I suffered tremendously whenever I was taking standardized tests or a GRE I took for grad school. Didn't do so well on reading comprehension, which sucks because it's dude, I can do this, but it's because of the pressure of the time I'm unable to focus and absorb it. So I know that probably would have been super fucking useful to take some Adderall and just help me dial it in. Just dial it in. And what's interesting, what I learned about people with ADHD, which may or may not be a fake disease, I don't know. I still feel like it is. We'll get into all that. I'm sure that will light up the phone lines when I start saying ADHD is fake news. But sometimes I just like to be inflammatory, leave a seed, piss people off, and walk away. See what happens. But oh no, where is he going with this? Adderall, fake news. Oh yes. Let's just talk about why I think might be fake news, especially when you start feeding kids Adderall. And again, I feel like I'm going to step on some toes here. I'm almost certain that I will. I'm not trying to call people out for being good or bad parents. Do whatever the fuck you want with your kids. I don't care. Give them hormones, take away their testicles, cut off their titties. It's your fucking kid. You do what you want. I'll just let you know what I think is a good or bad idea. Like, I'm not going to shame anybody for doing anything, even though, I mean, I do in my head. But, don't be the thought police. Let me think my thoughts. You can think your thoughts, right? So, I think I think the jury is still out on if ADHD is a... And here's the thing. Like, obviously there's a spectrum for attention. Oh, I know what I was going to say. ADHD, I learned, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. Hold on. ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. Okay. I was under the impression that those people cannot pay attention. But what I've since learned is that they cannot not pay attention to most things. So it's not that they can't pay attention, it's that they're paying attention to everything. They can't zone shit out and dial it in on one thing. They are paying attention to everything. They're paying attention. I imagine a second grade boy probably has this problem a lot, where he's meant to sit in classroom for 8 hours a day and listen intently on what his teacher, Mrs. Baker, is saying. And he has to listen and go, yes. And, she's talking about multiplication or letters or colors or whatever the fuck else a second grader learns. And it's going to be just the most interesting and riveting thing this second grade boy has ever heard. No, obviously he's going to be fucking bouncing around. He's looking at his boy Kyle. He's looking at his boy Jesse. He's just like, the water's dripping in the faucet. He can't stop looking at that. He's tapping his toes. He's whatever. That to me is the natural state of a 8-year-old boy, 7-year-old boy, whatever. Like, that is the natural state. Kids really are, and I would say most humans aren't really made to sit and focus, dial it in for multiple hours during the day. I don't think that sort of behavior was something that humans were really evolved to do, unless it was like looking for food or shelter or something like that. But even in that case, you're moving around, you're surveying shit, you're looking, oh, do we see the fruit tree? Oh, is that a tiger? Oh, no. Like, you're paying attention to a lot of things, and you're not like just sitting down looking at a book with letters on it and being completely 100% entertained. So I know that a lot of parents, people that I know even, have given their kids some sort of amphetamine. Seems counterintuitive if they're hyperactive that you'd give them an amphetamine, but somehow in the people that are affected with ADHD, it somehow dials them down and lets them like focus and sit. Whereas when I take Adderall, I feel like I'm fucking buzzing around. I need to start doing some chores, and it gives me energy. Which, why the fuck would you want to give someone energy when you want them to sit down and focus? I don't know. Somehow it has. I've never really investigated this, and that's unlike me, so I think I'll do that this afternoon. Like, why it would have the opposite effect on someone who doesn't have ADHD, but for some reason a child who's already hyperactive, like, let's give them amphetamines and that somehow shuts it off. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Not a doctor. I'm not really much of anything. Just person, with opinions that no one wants to hear. And that's fine. 813-90-BUBBA. I don't think it's wise to be giving children mind-altering drugs. We talk about the hormone situation and everyone's up in arms about that, or they're not, and they're very much in support of giving an 8-year-old boy estrogen, or a puberty blocker. And again, listen, we've talked about this ad nauseum. Fucking do what you want to do. If you ask me, hey, on anything that's a good idea, I'm gonna be like, yeah, probably not. Probably not. But am I going to go and fucking protest and make a sign about how you shouldn't give your kid lithium? I don't. Or Lupron, I think it's called. I don't give a fuck what you do at the end of the day. It seems like not nice and you're probably fucking up your kid, but hey, that's your prerogative. That's how I look at it. Now, it is your prerogative to do with what you want with your kids. If I had children and people were telling me how to and what to do and not do, beyond abusing them, putting their head through a garage door or something like that, I would be like, hey, fucking mind your business. Mind your business. Don't worry about what's going on over here. I know what's best for my kid. All right, cool. I'm going to offer you that same right where I'm just going to stay the fuck out of your way. Dude, and even if you were hitting your kid, like I'm probably not even then. I may blow in a phone call at most, but I'm not going to really, I mean, maybe if your kid is like screaming and crying and on my doorstep, I'll take him in and maybe then fully, I'm locked and loaded, ready to protect that kid. But other than that, like, I am just very much happy to stay the fuck out of your way. Because listen, if you're willing to fuck up that kid and hit that kid and abuse that kid, and that's your kid, I can only imagine what you would do to me if I try to get in your way. So like, listen, I'm all about being about my business. Maybe some people say that I'm being complicit, but that's okay. I call it surviving. I'm just trying to live. Hello, who's this?
Hey, what's up? It's Pedro.
Pedro the pool guy. What's going on?
Not too much, girl. He just got done with an inspection of a guy's house.
Oh, cool.
So early on, we have 3 kids, 15, 11, and 5. And when my 15-year-old was really young, he was diagnosed with ADHD, and it was to the point that he couldn't focus on shit. I mean, talk about bouncing around. Gave him I don't know what the hell it was. I think it was Vyvanse.
Yeah, or Ritalin, or
made him a zombie.
Yeah,
yeah,
made him a zombie.
It made him an absolute zombie.
And is that a good thing? Where you're coming from, or?
No, hell no.
Oh, okay. Maybe you were like, he's finally manageable. I don't know.
No. It actually made him into a complete zombie where he just didn't want to do anything. So he had to mess around with his meds for a little while, found the right one for him, and it made him functional, where he could actually focus on life and whatnot. Same thing with our 11-year-old. She was crazy.
Okay.
Got her onto the right medication. But now, that was when they were young, 5, 7 years old. And it was literally like they would just walk up to one of their classmates and smack them in the face and walk away like it was nothing.
I mean, I'm not trying to call out the parents here. But
well, that's the thing. I didn't hit him, and
I understand, but kids do shitty stuff, even if they're not. They just work on impulse. I've seen. I was out with my friend a couple weeks ago, and she brought her toddler, and this little boy came up to her little boy and said, like, "I really like your truck." And my friend's little boy just fucking swatted at him because he was like, "Get away from my shit," which understandably so. But my friend intervened and was like, "The fuck you do? Like, that is not how we treat our friends, So kids are going to hit each other. That's the nature of being a kid. But again, and I know the people in chat are like, "You're not a parent." I understand. But I also have a brain that works, and I see what goes on. Maybe if you intervene and you hit them back for hitting somebody else, you go, maybe that's not the best way to teach your kids, now thinking about it. But if you discipline them in a way where they know that they can't pull that shit off, then, maybe that's how they learn. But all right. So anyways, he pimp slapped somebody, and then what do you do?
And well, he was also just, just couldn't focus on anything. Now, fast forward, and he's now 15. We took him off those meds at 11. It went from like 7 to 11, but we found that as he was getting older and, starting puberty, it really started fucking him up.
How so? How so? How so?
It would make his mood so extreme from one end, almost bipolar.
Let's just say the Adderall he was on or whatever the fuck the drug was made him bipolar when he was going through puberty.
Correct.
Okay. So, well, that sounds like a great plan.
Let's try something else and try this. And we're like, my wife and I were like, well, let's just try and take him off it, see if it works. And he was evened out. Now, granted, he's 15 and he's a fucking lazy cuss that doesn't want to do anything and doesn't understand why when I yell at him for not turning in homework that, he's like, I don't understand. He looks at me like, I don't understand. Why is it a problem? I'm like, hey, dickhead, you've got an F, and all you have to do is hit the turn in your homework button. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's more even-keeled.
Did you hit your kids?
So extreme.
Did you spank them?
Huh?
Did you spank your kids growing up?
I spanked them once.
Okay.
And with my older two, my ex-wife used to swat them with a wooden spoon when I wasn't around.
Are they a lot better equipped to dealing with life and more responsible, or no?
Our 11-year-old, yes. Our 15-year-old, I don't know what his deal is. We have him in counseling and stuff, trying to figure out what's in his head. He just doesn't want to talk to anybody.
And
about
this is the one that was on the Adderall that you took off?
Well, they both were.
Okay, what was the one where he was on it? You took him off at 11. Is that your eldest?
That's the oldest.
Okay.
We'll call him Tommy.
Tommy.
We'll call him Tommy.
All right.
The other one we'll call Carrie, okay?
Carrie, all right. So we're talking about Tommy. Tommy goes through this transition of puberty. You take him off the shit, and he's fine. And now he's got other issues, but that may just be a function of being a teenager. Who knows? Or, alternative parenting methods. Who knows? But was there a message you wanted to say as to whether or not you should be putting your kids who have developing brains on this shit on a daily basis, or what?
Looking back now, I probably would not have done it.
Probably not, right?
Because it seems to, in my non-expert opinion,
yes,
it seems to have a hand in rewiring the brain.
Absolutely.
And the benefit is not outweighed by the long-term issues. So, no, I wouldn't do it again. Like, we have a 5-year-old that he's like, I think he's going to end up being like on Jackass or something because he's not afraid of nothing. But I'm not going to put him on anything. We're just going to try and,
try to
tone him down or something.
Right. Just ride the wave of being a 5-year-old, because 5-year-olds, of what I've seen of 5-year-olds, and I used to be one, they're just kind of fucking crazy. They're just like wild little animals. They got a lot of energy to burn. I also think that diet plays into this as well. When I see parents just feeding their kid sugar all fucking day and they wonder why their kid won't calm the fuck down, I go, I'm no doctor, but maybe you shouldn't be feeding them Coke and cookies and sugary snacks all day long. Just a thought. Just a thought, because I know I've had a sugar rush before, and I had that one donut last week, and I was fucking buzzing for like an hour and a half. Mostly because I'm just not used to that amount of sugar in one sitting, but especially in the morning. But I was fucking buzzing. I definitely had a bit of a sugar rush, and I can only imagine that if I was having that kind of sugar every day, all the time, and I was a kid, I would be bouncing off the walls. So.
Yeah, we're not big sugar eaters, or we don't have candy just sitting around. We treat it all like a treat, as it should be. So it's once in a while.
All right.
Juices are watered down and stuff like that.
Oh, that's great. Great. Yeah, juices are garbage. They're really bad for you. Super bad.
And I saw my first Canadian fucking license plate. Great. Can't wait. Here comes season.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Anyway.
All right. All right, Pedro. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate you.
Lots of love. See ya.
Bye. God bless. I'm not a big fan of Adderall for the developing brain, or pretty much anything. And I'm sure that someone might call in and say, well, you don't get it, Anna. There is a spectrum, and there are definitely people that need it. I think you'd be hard pressed to convince me of that. I feel like I don't want to say it's a cop out. Again, I don't have kids. I feel like the need to reiterate that, because that's always the argument. But here's the thing: I can not have kids and still be right about something when it comes to parenting. Just because you have a child, there's lots of different parents, and they parent all different sorts of ways. Are they all right? No. But I'm just saying, listen, especially from like a third party point of view, I'm looking down on everybody going, that seems to be a good way to raise a kid. They turned out all right. That seems to not be a great way to raise a kid, because that kid didn't turn out quite right. So yeah, I don't think it's good. I think it's mostly that medication is used by parents, not the teachers can, force the kid to take it, but encourage parents to get it for their children to make them more manageable so that they're easy just to handle for everybody else. It's really not for the benefit of the child, it seems. Seems like it's for the benefit of everybody around the child because the child is so fucking annoying. It's like, all right, well, you got this kid who's on a shit ton of sugar, who's running around, who's a little boy, and that's what little boys do, and girls, but especially boys. They're very rambunctious. They like to run into things and throw themselves down flights of stairs. They're fucking crazy. They're animals. But that's the nature of just being a little boy human. You're crazy. Now you're giving that kid a shit ton of sugar running around. And then you don't get him exercise. You don't walk him like the dog that he is. You get the kid in soccer where he's burning some energy off, or basketball or jiu-jitsu. Even better, do that. Gracie Tampa South, shameless plug. Do all that sort of stuff, and then talk to me. And then if the kid is still having problems, like, all right, fine, maybe we might look at the option of medication. But it's like, why the fuck would you want to give a developing brain something every single day and think it's going to have no cause, no effect? Every single medication you fucking take, every single medication you take has side effects. Every single fucking one. Okay, obviously, the smaller the dose, the smaller the dose of everything, which is the side effects, whatever. But over a long enough period of time, any sort of medication that you're taking on a daily, especially a daily basis, is going to have negative side effects and negative consequences. Adult, child, black, white, doesn't matter. It's going to affect you in a way where it's going to probably lead to other symptoms, lead to other problems. And that's exactly what what Big Pharma wants, is they want you on as many drugs as possible. And the more you take some of their drugs, the more likely you are to take more, because more symptoms arise, more problems arise. And the only way to fix those, of course, is with more drugs. And it's just this never-ending cycle of bullshit. So, I would encourage parents, however annoying your fucking kid is, maybe try doing other things before you just resort to that. Put them in a summer camp. Have them do soccer. You don't understand all of that's expensive. Okay. Then I don't want to say then don't have the kid, but it's like, fuck, you're paying for the medication. You can't, or don't even pay for the soccer. You play soccer with the kid. I don't know. Get the kid involved in shit. And there's plenty of, listen, I mean, if there's help for you to get free, I don't know. I'm trying to think what you can get for free around here. Like club sports or whatever, you need some financial aid, like they'll fucking help you. You do a GoFundMe, like there's ways to get your kid involved for not that much money. Not everyone needs to take, dance lessons and stuff, because I know my mom was a dance teacher and owned a dance studio. That shit can get pricey. I understand not everyone can do gymnastics and lacrosse, but join a soccer league or something, or maybe just take your kid to the gym. I know at the YMCA, I think they allow that with parental supervision. Nothing makes me happier, by the way, than when I see a parent with their child at the gym showing them how to do shit. That is awesome, especially when they're pretty young. Maybe they're like 10 or 11. Maybe they haven't even quite hit puberty yet, but they already know like how to do an overhead press. Dad's there. It's usually dad. I don't think I've ever seen a mom, but I definitely see dads out there teaching their sons like their way around the weight room. And I think that is just such a skill that pays dividends through their life. Because, yeah, it's great to learn a skill and to play soccer and do that. But unless you become a professional, it's probably going to fade after grade school, which is fine. But to know your way around the weight room, just rudimentary stuff. If you can teach your kid that, and they can recall that information when they need it later as an adolescent, a young adult, and then just an adult, I think that's fantastic, because that the gym will always be there for you. And it's never a bad idea to weight train. It's never a bad idea to resistance train a few times a week. It is great. It's one of the best things that you could do for your body and your health, is to work out and try to acquire as much muscle mass naturally as possible. It's good for bone density. You want muscle mass. The more muscle you have is essentially like a calorie sink. Your muscles need a lot of energy, a lot of calories to maintain their size and their strength. And so it's fantastic. It's great. And the older we get, and I've been trying to, I get on my dad's case sometimes. I always try to tell him, like, you need to stay active. Don't stop being active, because once you stop being active, that's when there's a lot of problems mentally, physically. I think the number one cause of accidental deaths for people, I want to say 70 and over, is falling, actually. Yeah. Wasn't COVID. It's falling. So you fall, you're frail, you're brittle, you fuck your hip up, and then it's just pretty much a cascade of bad things that happen. You atrophy, you can't move, you get a lot of inflammation. Then maybe you just start eating and you start gaining weight, but you can't take it off because you got a bum hip or a bum knee. So it's a bad situation. So just try to stay active throughout your whole life. And even if you're younger like me, where you're not really running into heart attack problems and diabetes problems, even though there's plenty of people in their 30s with diabetes, but for the most part, it's a symptom of age. We're not really thinking about cancer and stuff like that when we're younger, but we need to, because the best, antidote to shit like that is just not getting them in the first place, is obviously prevention. I don't want to start thinking about diabetes once I have diabetes. I want to start thinking about diabetes before I even have to think about it, before I'm even close to that shit, so I know that I can be free and safe from shit like that. That is 100%, at least the type 2, completely reversible, preventable. I'm sure there's going to be people that are, I know the person, okay, all right, not a doctor here, but as far as I know, that sort of shit is completely lifestyle based. And I'm sure there's a component of genetics, right? But it's a genetic environment interaction. So if we don't put ourselves in an environment where that's even a possibility, it will never manifest, which is fantastic. All right. Hello.
On up, Brian from Philly. How are you?
What's up, Brian? So good to hear from you. Thank you so much for all you do and for contributing.
Thank you for all you do. But excuse me. When my son was in like 4th grade, he's 23 now. A teacher said he wasn't paying attention in class, blah blah blah. And then next thing you know, they're trying to put him on Ritalin. He went to a doctor.
Wait, who is they? Who is that? Like the can the teacher order an examination by the nurse or something? Or
so here's how it went. Like the teacher's like, he never pays attention, but his grades were fine. His school sucked, but anyway.
Yeah.
We said, all right. And then we had a good friend in the family who knew all about the education system in Pennsylvania. And she was like, hey, tell them you want to have them tested for gifted, and they'll do run all these tests. And they have to, it's on them. They have to do it. They brought it up. So
yeah,
call them out on it. So we did. And they're like, he's probably just bored,
Yeah.
But they did want to put him on Ritalin. One doctor wrote a script for it, and it was bullshit. And
yeah.
then we ended up pulling him out of that school. We sent him to a private prep school. It was the best thing we ever did, and thank God we could afford it.
Yeah.
And it was a small classroom, like maybe 6 kids in a class, like 24 kids in his whole graduating class.
Okay.
But he joined every club. He became student council president. He was a leader on the debate team. He excelled there. It was great. And then
he just wasn't challenged enough, so it was boring, and so he was, being obnoxious.
He ended up getting half an academic scholarship to a major university, and the kid killed it. And they were trying to put him on Ritalin, and he still remembers it to this day. We talk about it.
Good.
Like, thank God you didn't put it.
Yeah, he made the right move. Could you only imagine what you would have done? Like, you would have stifled his talent and his abilities, and,
They were so anxious just to, here, take this, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
It was a joke.
Yeah, it is.
Recently,
you go ahead.
I was taking generic Celexa. I think I told you that. Citalopram. I was taking it for like 5 years. I recently got off it.
Remind me of like what it does.
It's an antidepressant.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So they put it on me like almost 6 years ago when my wife died. But I was fucking sad. Shit, my wife died. I should have realized that. You're going to be fucking sad.
Yeah.
So I took this for a long time, and I weaned myself off of it, and it's been like probably 3 weeks, 4 weeks since I've been off it. It was
do you
a little
feel
rough,
any different? You do feel different.
Oh yeah, you get more. My emotions come out more. Like when I saw those kids in Israel at that rave, it freaked me out because they're the same age as my kids. I cried. It's crazy.
Yeah. Interesting. So it's like you just you feel life almost like the way that you're supposed to, in a sense.
Right.
I wonder how that works in the brain, like how it, like if you were to read that and see that when you were on that SSRI or whatever antidepressant.
Yeah, it's an SSRI.
Yeah, how would it kind of like numbs you to it, or it doesn't fire you up as much?
I would have been outraged, but I don't think I would have, teared up and cried.
Interesting. It just kind of like it takes the edge off of life, I guess. I was on SSRIs too for OCD, and it felt like it just took it. And again, I wasn't taking it for depression. I wasn't sad. I was just fucking crazy. But it took the edge off of everything, like the good and the bad, which I think is ultimately bad, because it's like you want to feel. Even like, have you ever been in a situation where like you wanted to be sad and you felt sad and you get emotional, and then there's like that calmness afterwards where it was like it was energy in your body that needed to be expelled, and it got expelled, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, because I was going to say that. You need to let it out.
Yeah. So I feel like I hate seeing people on all these drugs where it's like suppress. And sometimes, again, people need them, whatever. I get it that they do serve a purpose for some people. I just feel like they are often way overprescribed, especially when we're talking about fucking kids, man. Like your son, perfect example. Like, he would have just been maybe a zombie and not really excelled and wouldn't have pushed himself.
I don't think he'd be the man he is today.
No way.
He passed an actuary exam. He's brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, hey, back to Halloween is great. It's like in Delray Beach, the whole city, town embraces it.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. It's like
in Miami.
like
I'm thinking Key West. Yeah.
Couple days, I decorated my place for Halloween. I put lights on.
Look at you.
But I was walking my car in my driveway. Some girl lives down the street, comes up to me, introduces herself, and says, "Hey, I like how you decorate it. We're having a big party at my place Saturday night. You're invited." I was like, all right.
Awesome. Is she a hottie? Or is she like married?
She's all right, but I'm going to meet people. It'll be fun.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. Yeah, any opportunity to meet people is a good time. Well, that's great. Look at you. So your festiveness got you invited to like a block party.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that. Get in the season. All right. Thank you, Brian. Thank you for everything.
Talk to you later.
All right. Later. Hi, who's this?
Hey, on a Hummel, brother. It's Peterborough Piero up here in Peterborough, Ontario, Canada. I'm calling on behalf of Tampa Terry. I want to thank him for you giving him the push in the Iggy this week with Bubba, brother. That was really strong, dude. I'm high as hell on 62 milligrams of Adderall right now,
Joe.
brother.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right, Joe.
Okay, fine. You got me. So I got to say what I wanted to say before.
Yeah, go ahead.
Your first topic.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to get Peterborough Peter sniped.
I know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Technically, that homeboy earlier owes us a penny because 99.99 ain't no snipe.
I know. I rounded up.
Here's the deal.
I was feeling generous today.
You always round up. You have to round up.
You got to.
So here's the deal. You were talking about the text thing where you see that somebody's seen your thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing on Messenger. You know, the bubble comes up and it changes from the check, and you can see the image. You know somebody saw it, but they don't respond. And I don't know if it's me because I'm a loser or just everybody does it, but nobody responds to texts or messages anymore whatsoever. Very, very few and far between.
People don't respond to your text messages?
No. Like, I'll text. They'll see it, and it'll show red.
Yeah.
I have an Android, but even then, it still shows red or delivered.
Oh, okay.
And I don't get nothing back. And it's not just one person, two person, or three people. It's a great multitude of people constantly. And it's real easy to take that personally.
And maybe you should. I mean, I'm usually not. Again, I don't know if I'm left on red because most of my friends know how to work an iPhone and they take that shit off immediately. But, I mean, most of the time people get back to me. I mean, give them a day or two. You know, there's a grace period. I understand people have busy lives and they may see it and they're in the middle of something and then they forget to respond. But, you know, usually people get back to me. People are not getting back to you at all. Ever?
Well, yeah, most of the time I have to say, like, even my weed man, I hit him up on Friday, and he's like, "Oh, I'm in Boston, but I'll get you on Sunday or Monday." And then I didn't bother him at all. I don't bother anybody. And I just hit him up on Monday, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, dude, you know, I just got back, and it's late, and I'm still tired." And I'm like, "All right, so I'll just leave him alone." And I finally seen him last night. So it took from Friday till Thursday to finally get a little something.
Yeah. Well, again,
it's just the way of the world, I guess. Or I'm just a loser. Maybe it's because yeah. Unfortunately, I think these are the times when we have to look inward and we go,
is it me? Because it would be nice to blame everybody and go, this is the way of the world. No one gives a fuck about anybody anymore. But then you also have to think that there is the off chance, the probability that it might just be you.
And I don't contact people constantly. I don't really bother anybody at all.
Yeah.
If I'm contacting you, there's a reason, there's a meaning behind it.
I understand.
And even, I know I referenced Sabateri at the beginning, but he is the absolute worst person to contact of anybody. I mean,
Really?
I can send him some important information or have an important question, something that's immediate, and he won't even look at his messages for like a day or two, and then all he does is like them. He doesn't even respond.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry that
He never answers his phone. He never responds to any texts. I could ask a direct question. He won't answer it. I can share him a link of something awesome that he'll enjoy, and he won't even comment back on it. I just don't.
Yeah,
I just
maybe
don't
less.
get it.
Maybe
So
less links. Maybe less links. People don't like to be given homework when they receive a message. Unless you're having a specific topic about, can you find me this, or I know you referenced that. Can you send it to me? But otherwise, if you just start sending people like clips, 10 minutes here, 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there, people don't want to watch that shit. They don't want homework, so they'll usually just like it and then never watch it. So.
See, he doesn't listen to Bubba, and I try to keep putting him on because he loves Hulk Hogan, and that's his number one thing in the world. So I send him shorts.
You can't be too pushy, because when you push people too much, they either just ignore you, they push back, or they don't want anything to do with it. People don't like to be force-fed shit, unfortunately. And Joe, that's something I need to work on, because I can be a little pushy as well, especially when I know the right answer for something. Like, I try to get people to work out or follow up on them. I do it once, twice. If they're not receptive to it, I go, okay, die from diabetes. I'm just trying to fucking help. I'm just trying to help you live, but that's fine. But no, you can't. You can lead a horse to water, can't make it drink, Joe.
I got to give you the good news, kid. Here we go. You ready? Because of intermittent fasting, my blood sugars have come down so much. So, yeah.
That's what's up.
Pills,
health, man.
You can take metformin. You can do all this BS. But the bottom line is I was up in the high 200s, up like 256.
Yeah.
And now I'm around 100 every day, all day.
That's fantastic. Honestly, that's the greatest gift you could give me. The greatest gift you can give me, other than the gifts I get from Leslie and Chuck.
Back a little hint. Can you give me a hint on what your Halloween costume is tonight? Just a tiny hint. You're good at hints.
No, there will be no hints. You'll just see it in full form tonight at 8 p.m. like everybody else.
No
special treatment. No special, and I know you'll be there. What?
I'm dressing up as a hospital patient fluffer.
Okay. Well, just if you take any pictures, just keep posting pictures of fucking bananas. I know you love your bananas, and I don't even. No, I don't read them. I'm sorry, Joe. They're too long.
Come on, please, just do me one favor. Just one time, read it, because if you read back on any one of them, I guarantee you will find the brilliance in it.
Okay.
You're smart enough to look into the innuendo. It's not about
being smart. It's about being lazy. Sexual. And okay. All right, I'll read it. I'll do it. I'll read it. All right, Joe. Gotta go. Andrew.
Let me know what you think.
God bless.
Enjoy your weekend.
Bye. 813-90 Bubba. We're gonna be finishing up here shortly. So we got the 199 tonight. We also got Alex Stein coming in next week for the fight, the Carnival of Combat, I believe it's called. I think there's a pre-game comedy stand-up deal in St. Pete on the 3rd, and then the actual fight, the whole card of fights, everything from the shot collar deal to I think Jason Ellis and Luis J. Gomez are fighting. Or no. Maybe it's somebody else. I don't really know. But anyways, Alex Stein is fighting. He'll be there. I would love to see a lot of your smiling faces there. Saturday, November 4th. I believe it's at the Factory. Of what I've seen, doors open at 2 p.m. So this is not like a super late night deal, which I love. So, because I'm all about daytime shit. So I think Alex will probably fight around 7 or 8 maybe. And the whole thing's over by 10 p.m. So, stay as long as you want. I think tickets are available online. We'll be talking more about this next week as we near closer to the date, and it's gonna be a great time. So I just wanted to plug that and make sure that you get your tickets before they all sell out. Hello, last call. What's this?
Hey, what's up? It's Dark Match. What's up, Hummel?
Oh, hey, DMS. What's up? What's going on?
How's it going?
It's going well.
You excited for 199?
Oh, yeah. Am I going to see you there tonight?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Sweet.
Are you going to force me to dress up? Do I have to put on some fucking weird shit?
No, I would never. I'm not forcing anyone to do anything. I just gave Joe a tirade about not being pushy, so this is me not being pushy. But, if you want to dress up, I mean, it's a free country, so.
All right, so if I can barely fit through the door because I'm wearing a homemade COVID costume, I'm going to blame you.
Please don't. If Bubba yells at you, please don't. Don't blame me.
Anna told me I had to dress up if I'm going to show up.
No.
Oh, so are you coming to my party?
It's tomorrow.
I got to get for you some grass clippings or what?
Grass? Oh, for the food that I eat? Is that what you're trying to allude to? I'm gonna try to make it. It's still on my calendar of things to do, so I'm gonna try to make it. Try to see you there. How many people are you expecting to see?
I honestly have no fucking clue.
Okay.
I can't remember who has said for sure they're coming, who's not. I mean, I'm thinking between 30 and 50, but I don't know.
Okay.
My house is too small for it. I'm probably.
Oh, you're gonna drown in the amount of people. And how many bathrooms do you have?
One.
Oh,
Unless
shit.
you count behind the shed where I piss.
Oh dear. Well, good luck with that. And plan is to stop by. So it's still on my calendar. I'm still aware of it, and I can't wait to see you tonight. With or without your Halloween costume.
Is Rhett coming? Do I need to get dog treats for his dog?
That's between you and Rhett, my friend.
Okay, I'll message him.
All righty.
All right.
I'll see you tonight. All right, goodbye.
Peace.
Love that guy. He's super awesome. Okay, I'm going to press this, and hopefully it works. Yeah, it does. Ah! Stand by. I'm pretty sure I get some music now. All right. I think that's good. Yep, that's the dial. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Listening to me rant. Thank you for all the calls and all the monies. Oh, my God. Mike Thurman, Brian from Philly, Big E. Stand by. I'm going to call y'all out. John Costica. Did I already say that? $49.99? I did. I think I did. John Costica, $49.99. And a bitch A1. The Snipe. Let's see. Michael Hambley, $9.99. Andrew Fontana, $25. Michael Hambley, $4.99. Did I miss all of these? James Spitzer, $99.99. Mike Thurman, I said that, $49.99. Brian from Philly, $10. Florida Stanley, $20. Biggie, $10. JHM3, $19.99. And Brian from Philly, a cool $50. All right, I just want to give people credit where credit is due. Love you guys. Bubba 199, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time till 10. We hope to see you all there. It's going to be on Rumble and Twitch at the Bubba Army. We'll see you then, and if not, we'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend, and God bless.